Talktainment Radio Worldwide Sound. Talktainmentradio.com. We give you a reason to come. The world's greatest radio. We give you a reason to stay. Radio, the way it should be heard. You got the power.
The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guest and not necessarily those of TalkTainmentRadio.com, the management, the staff, or K&E World Network, LLC.
TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. The world's greatest radio. And you're in touch with Wiggins, World of Wellness. And I'm Stacey Wiggins. And this is radio the way it should be heard. Good day, and thank you for tuning in. I'm going to share some secrets with you today. And I get oftentimes asked a lot of questions, and some of them seem to reoccur, pop up. So I'm thinking, maybe this should be a good idea for a podcast. So here we go. One of those questions is, Stacey, who works on you? You know, because I'm doing a lot of body work on people and helping people how to relax, stretch out, and address trigger points and all that kind of stuff. And so they ask, well, who works on you? And oftentimes I say, I do. And they give me a strange look because they really haven't understood what it is that I do to create my level of health. Now, however, I do get a massage once every other month. When I need it, I do get balanced, not adjusted, but balanced, if and when I feel that my biomechanics, my physical structure, or mentally I feel out of balance. And maybe I'll give you more hints about that later on, what it is to feel balanced and what it is to feel out of balance. Because if you've never been balanced, you don't have the contrast. You don't have the knowledge. You can't compare. So these questions started to really kind of rumble in my mind and, just kind of go back and forth. And so it's like, okay, Stacey, who does work on you? Like I do. And the greater question might be, what does great health look like? What does great health feel like? What does great health actually even smell like? Yeah. So I'm going to cover a couple of these things because if you have never been really healthy, then your awareness, your comparison from one state to another is only from the awareness of being somewhat ill healthy or in a disease state. So oftentimes the contrast and comparison that you may make is deficient because you haven't had the other side of the coin, the optimal wellness side, to know what it is to feel like being pain-free. And by the way, I talk about being pain-free for over 23 years of my life, but there's way, way more health, more levels of health than just being pain-free. But I thought I'd at least address the fact that being pain-free is a certain degree of health. It's a high degree of health. And I felt that I really didn't need to go any further because every time I would tell people, yeah, I've been pain-free for, X amount of years, I get that glazed look in their eyes like, how does that happen? That's impossible. Oh, no, you must be lying to me. No. I'm talking about free of chronic pain. Now, if I work out real hard or bruise myself or injure myself, yeah, I'll have acute pain for a short period of time, but not that ongoing, persistent, nagging, chronic pain. I call it OTC. It actually stands for a couple things, but it's old trauma or old tightness condensed. Old tightness, just we call it old tight and crusty. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Most of us, even at a young age, start to feel old, and I'll give you a couple reasons why. Because that shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the case at all. So let me see here. Let me refer to some of my notes. Okay, all right. Yeah, everybody wants to look good on the outside when it comes to optimal health, but first, let's start where optimal health really does start. And that's in your digestion. That's in your GI tract, gastrointestinal tract. And actually, before you even get there, before you even start to bite on that food or that substance or the candy that you want to put in your mouth, you need to consider that your digestion actually starts with you looking at it, with you smelling that good tasting food, or with the anticipations. Have you ever fed like a little baby, and you took the spoon up to their mouth and you took it away, and you could see that they're like drooling, they're getting ready for that bite, and it didn't happen? Well, this is your physiology. This is your body getting ready to consume food. One of the reasons why we pray is to get in alignment with our body and the food we're about to nurture ourselves with. So, perfect digestion. Whew, what does that feel like? Well, it feels like this. You're able to chew your food up. You're able to swallow your food. And as your food is going through your digestive system in your stomach and then it goes into the intestines, you are not experiencing gas. You're not experiencing the, reflux, the acid reflux. You're not experiencing discomfort, the bloating. Matter of fact, you are experiencing, when you're optimally healthy digestion, good, calm assimilation. The food goes in, it gets broken down. I like to, a long time ago, I used to do juice machines, and they are juice extractors. They would extract the minerals and the vitamins and the antioxidants from, say, a carrot or an apple, but it still pulls away the fiber, which is important, and you need that. But that's very similar to what our digestive system does. It's an extractor. It breaks the food down chemically. It doesn't spin it, but it biomechanically and chemically breaks the food down to where you can absorb it, get the minerals, get the vitamins, get the energy from it, and then, of course, pass it on. Oftentimes, in this digestion process, we lose our health. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Shu, rest her soul, Mrs. Shu had a great statement when I first started to kind of go under her tutelage and just listen to her seminars and all, that what she said was death begins in the colon. And it's a statement that holds a lot of truth. As you begin to lose your health, you are losing it through the process of you breaking down in digestion. Okay, so what does great health and great digestion kind of look like, feel like? Well, I told you there's no upsetness. And actually, when you do have bowel movements, they are 1, easy, 2, frequent, and 3, minimal smell. So if you've had maybe a very garlicky meal or dinner, yes, you could possibly have some of that off-gassing, but in a healthy system, that doesn't occur. So let's see here. Also in the beginning, let's talk about the after effects. When you have eaten, and say you go to bed, you brush your teeth, you go to bed, in the morning, do you have neutral breath or do you have that dragon breath? Ugh. In the morning, do you have plaque? Do you have a film in your mouth? Is your tongue coated? Do you have like a white tongue when you look in the mirror, like, what's that? These are all signs, all symptoms of lack of health, of improper digestion or incomplete digestion. So let's see here. Actually starts and becomes boom, 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 boom. So there are many things that we go about doing to enhance our digestion. Now let me give you 2 easy ones, 2 just knock it out the park easy ones. As we continue to eat processed food, it really takes away from our energy. It insults us. It makes us inflamed. More about that in a minute. And when we eat raw food, food that has its own digesting enzymes, we are better off. We are actually nurturing our body more as opposed to depleting our body of our own digestive enzymes in order to break down this cooked food, this meal. Or if it's meat, it takes even more energy to break down the fibers. So, number one, if you dine out, not if, when, you need to have digestive enzymes on hand. I usually have them in the car. During the summertime, the heat might get a little high. You might want to consider not keeping them there so they don't get ruined. But every time that you eat, and it's a meal that you know that you may have a challenge with, digestive enzymes are accompany that. Actually, half an hour early is the best. And if you forget, take it whenever you can, even after the meal. Oh my goodness, I forgot to take my digest. It still works. Take them at any time. Actually, there have been many health practitioners that would recommend that in order to get rid of, say, joints that are arthritic or the tension and the tightness, is to take digestive enzymes on an empty stomach. And if you tuned in to, 4 or 5 podcasts ago, I was super excited about serrapeptase. Serrapeptase is a proteolytic enzyme. In other words, it breaks down proteins. And it turns out that fibrin is a protein. Fibrin is that which kind of gets stuck or lodged into your joints or wherever there's a damaged area, which eliminates or slows down the blood flow. So people oftentimes call this arthritis or bursitis or whatever, but it's the inflammation process that's occurring. Through this inflammation process, you have less blood flow. Thus, no good stuff coming in, no toxins and bad stuff coming out. It's a traffic jam, 5 o'clock, and nobody's going anywhere. And you get intense, you get angry, you get inflamed. Okay, so try not to jump all around here. So we're back to bad breath, white-coated tongue, plaquing of the teeth, dental problems, morning breath. These are all signs and symptoms of your digestion is not optimal. When it is optimal, you wake up with neutral breath. When it is optimal, you wake up with clear sinuses. You're actually able to breathe in through your nostrils, feel the air going through your head down into your lungs. Woo, that's open sinuses. Otherwise, it's less than optimal. Okay, so we talked about digestive enzymes along on those lines, but a different type of cousin are, well, it's best called friendly flora, also known as beneficial bacteria or friendly bugs. And yeah, you may have known this through the yogurts or the other products out there, which have far too little to actually give you a great benefit. But bacteria of the friendly kind is actually a life-saving ingredient that you need to have, be aware of, and have on hand. Anytime you have any kind of, quote, food crises, any type of maybe a poisoning, that is one of the 2 things that I go to. It's probiotics, and the other one is activated charcoal. Everyone should know about, have on hand activated charcoal. It's the number 1 thing you should have in your medicine cabinet. It is officially, I believe, in all emergency hospital rooms for poisonings, for food poisonings and chemical poisonings. They inject this stuff in your stomach and it helps draw out these poisons. So activated charcoal is a much needed, must-have on-hand product. So we talked about increased digestion, increased absorption. It safeguards against infections. These are probiotics. Let's see here. When you have a much larger variety of probiotics, you have a much stronger immune system. But if your probiotics have been beaten up by caffeine, white foods, antibiotics in your food, antibiotics in your diet, or if you're taking antibiotics, it creates large havoc on the bacterial health. You're actually just wiping out trillions and trillions of good guys. And when the good guys leave, the bad guys move in quickly. Okay. Also, when you are taking probiotics, it's been found quite often, it's pretty much a standard case, that your allergies, whether it's a summer allergy, the pollens and things like that, your allergies are reduced, or you're able to withstand those allergic conditions much better, much easier, like pet dander, things like that. So it also helps to promote detoxification. Probiotics is almost my number one go-to tool for helping my body to detox. Of course, I think my number one tool is the far infrared sauna. We've talked about it before a few times, and may have to talk about it again a little more here in the future. Now, if you go to a health food store, a Whole Foods or some bigger chain health food store, you'll notice that now the probiotics, they have categories. They have for men over 50, for women over 50. Do you have a urinary tract infection? Are you pregnant? Are you young? Are you a baby? All these now have sub areas or kind of individualized bacteria for various cases and ages. So it's getting to be really, really fine-tuned science. Let's see here. Oh, helps motility. It helps with the getting rid of food, of waste. All right. Let's see. Now we have to get to the down and the dirty. We've got to talk about poo-poo. Yes. We have to talk about elimination. We have to talk about how our body goes about getting rid of toxins. And if you are eating 2-3 times a day, then ideally you should be having 1, 2, 3 would be kind of high, but at least 1 to 2 bowel movements a day. If you are hydrated well enough throughout the day, then ideally, once again, you should be urinating once an hour, at least once every 2 hours. Oftentimes, the recommendation of drinking the amount of ounces of water, which would be half of your body weight. Say I weigh 200 pounds, so I should drink 100 ounces of water. That's a pretty good recommendation. I feel safe in having most people try to follow that. You don't have to hit it perfectly, but at least fall in that neighborhood. Okay, we talked about sweating. Some people don't sweat. That is the number one reason for the far infrared sauna, is to help you sweat out the toxins, to help you sweat out the heavy metals, the cadmium, the mercury, to help you sweat out the plastics. We're in plastic bottles all the time. We're around plastic. Our computers are encased with plastic. Goodness, we have toxins coming at us in every direction imaginable. And we need to realize this, and we need to create some protocols against it, because some we can eliminate, but most we have to deal with. Okay? Eliminating the ones that are easy, man, that's what you need to do. The ones that are impossible, then you have to compensate for it. So let's say you have dirty air. Okay. Well, you do deep breathing in a clean environment to help offset such things. Okay. Let me see. Wash, detox, skin, hair, sweat. Oh, yeah. Here's another interesting fact that I just learned, I don't know, a couple months ago. And I've heard it in a couple different places, so it must be true. No, I will research it even deeper. But here's what I learned. That the exhale of each breath is loaded with carbon dioxide. Now, this is what we've known for years. Carbon dioxide is the gases that we want to get out of our body. And it doesn't really make sense to drink a product or a soda that has carbonation in it. Carbonation? Yeah, CO2 is in the drink. So why am I drinking carbonation in a body that's trying to get rid of carbonation? It's not like trying to balance things out in that way. No, that's you're going in the wrong direction. However, what I learned is that to lose fat. Now, this is fat weight, not body weight. Fat weighs a little bit lighter than water, and weighs a little bit lighter than muscle. But fat loss, 80% of your fat loss occurs through your exhale. That blew me away. And it's proven every time. I just tell people, hey, I know you're not into exercise, or you might be in pain, but if you can just walk 10 minutes out the door and walk 10 minutes back, and all I want you to do while you're walking is breathe heavier, man, they feel better. In 2 to 3 weeks, they're losing weight. And it's just the simplicity of more oxygen in, more energy, more carbon dioxide out, fat loss. more detox. It's very simple. How much does it cost to go for a walk and breathe deep? 0. Okay? So you don't have to get all these expensive gym plans just to get something started. Now, it's nice to meet up with a friend and do some walk breathing together. No, not chatting and walking, but breathing and supporting each other in their ability to breathe in deep while you're walking. Okay, so what does it feel like? What does great health feel like in your brain? What does it feel like in your mind? There's a certain connectedness that you have to everything. I heard the acronym from brother KRS-One. He called it GUN. G stands for God, U stands for universe, and N stands for nature. And I like that hierarchy: God, universe, nature. We tap into these higher levels of God presentness, the universal pill, and nature when we are healthier. When we are not healthy, we reclude, we bundle ourselves up, go inside, don't let the sun shine on us, and we forget everything we're taught. I know that any time that I get sick or I get injured, all this information I've collected in my brain kind of just goes out the window. And we need help when we're injured. We need help when we are recovering, when we are sick. And that helps so much when you get an outside perspective on things. To, hey, I see that you're doing this and this and that. Well, maybe you need to stop some of that and increase this. And boom, your health returns. So a connectedness to the outside world, but just as important, I feel more importantly, is a connectedness to your inside world. Okay? What do I mean? Well, it's being able to access that voice that doesn't scream at you, that voice that isn't the ego and is craving this and wants this attention and wants that. But it's that voice, that inner voice, the God voice if you wish, that tells you in a subtle way, in a soft way, ooh, you should go this way, turn left. Or, don't eat this food today. Or, oh, that person's in a lot of trauma, go help them out. Or, that person's in a lot of trauma, avoid them. It's that inner voice that we oftentimes doubt, we oftentimes criticize, and yet it's that God voice trying to nudge us on to being more aware, being more critical, or getting us out of the way of danger. Oftentimes people say, well, would you rather have God whisper in your ear, or would you rather have God use a 2x4 over your head to get your attention? Now, I know most people opt for the 2x4 because it's a little more dramatic and, hey, it's something to talk about. But truly, you would like to have that connectedness to where you're more aware of, I better not do this today, or better not whatever it is, because of that inner feeling and you honoring that inner feeling. That's what a connected mind means. It can be quiet, it can pull its attention inwardly, or it can be outwardly aware, kind of like on the Internet of Things, being able to tune into cousins in California, to your brother in California, or just being able to tune into the person that's just right across the room, and being awake and aware, not shut down, not in a critical mindset, not in an ego mindset, or not in a mindset that is negative. Oftentimes, we look at things and we look at the limitations of it. Oh, I can't do this, or that's impossible, or this or that. And that is I call it a limited Larry kind of thinking, or a limited Louise type of thinking, as opposed to possibility, Paul, as opposed to possibility thinking, where it's like, I might not be able to do that today, but I certainly can try, or I can certainly put steps in order for me to be able to accomplish that task. That may be a big dream, or just maybe getting around the block and trying to exercise. So it's a realization, and here's something else that I really think that people can be helped with, is that when you're listening, when you have that connectedness, when you're listening to your inner voice, you also have the ability, which doesn't sound like it's a big ability, but how many of us do this? We consider the future with the actions we take now. Now that's deep. You've got to realize that, okay, if I'm going to do this, what is going to be the future impact of this? Is this going to harm me? Is this going to harm others? when you start to consider your emotions, your food choices for what this may bring in the future, by God, you are connected. You are now more responsible than you ever have been. Because I love this one, another one from Brother KRS. He said his wife dropped this jewel on him. Whenever we blame other people, this is what's really going on. And the blame is an acronym. It works pretty close. But this acronym, blame, means because looking at me ain't easy. All right? Do you understand what that's going on? It's easier to blame someone else than to do the inner work, than to consider, wow, where have I been wrong? What have I done wrong? Or where have I not been able to show up, as opposed to looking critical, looking for the dirt, looking for the dust, looking for the scandal, looking for the drama. That interconnectedness is it's a beautiful thing. Also, it really helps you slow life down so you can be more introspective as opposed to outrospective and just outer reaction. You're more intercalm. All right, so let me jump ahead here. Boo. Okay. Oh yeah, I love this one. How do you create great health, Stacy? What are the things that you do to create great health? Now, I have to, before I even give you the tips or tell you what it is, some of my favorite things are, I have to share with you that if you continue, these are some quotes from Einstein I really enjoy. And, of course, I'm going to tear it up because I don't exactly have his verbiage in line, but we've all heard it before, and we all will recognize a couple of the things that Einstein was known to have said. And he said one of these things is you cannot solve a problem with the same thinking that got you there. Okay? You cannot solve a problem with the same limited thinking, with the same crises-oriented mind concept, mind trap that got you there in the first place. Thus, that's why you need coaches, you need friends, you need peers, you need family to help give you a wider, broader perspective of some of the limited thinking that you're doing, limited belief systems that you're doing. Here's another quote. I think it's even more popular than the first one. And let's see here. That is, the definition of insanity. We all use this one all the time. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. That occurs so often. It's just like it's a habit for most of us. Well, I was told to do this. Didn't work last time, but I'm going to do it again. Bam. Your head runs into a tree. You need to consider that which you have done and then open up your mind to new possibilities. Okay? I heard it this way. It might have came from my mind or someone else's mind. And it was like this. The problems and the solutions are not on the same frequency. Okay? Let's get back with you on those problems and solutions on the next part of Talktainment Radio. We're here at talktainmentradio.com. Whoa. On our break, talktainmentradio.com. We go where you go. Download talktainmentradio.com on your app or your cell or tablet. That's radio the way it should be heard. This is Stacy Wiggins on Wiggins World of Wellness. Be right back.
Are you ready for a high school that allows you to work at a place that is right for you? Are you ready to earn a certification in healthcare, business, or manufacturing while achieving your high school diploma? Then you are ready for Life Skills High School, a free public school option for high school students 16 to 21 years old. Learn more about your free high school educational options at lifeskillshs.org or call them at 1-800-888-7992. Life Skills High School, education that fits your life. This is Al Edmondson, owner of a Cutter Brother Rest Barbershop. I'm calling on all barbers and beauticians. It's time for us to unite as one. We can serve our communities better together. Join the Ohio Black Barber Beauty Network. For more information, visit www.obbn.org or call 614-427-3226 to get more information. Be the change that you want to see in your community. Join our network.
For the best home fragrance and beauty products, shop Ash Kickin online. That's ASHKICKIN. Made with 100% natural quality ingredients and handcrafted with your family in mind, Ash Kickin products are better than those other guys. Ash Kickin candles, incense, body butter, face moisturizer, and hair moisturizer are priced just right, and you can get yours at 10% off with coupon code TALK17. Support this 100% black-owned business and get your home and body smelling and feeling all right. That's ASHKICKIN.
Shop Ash Kickin' online at www.ashkickin.com.
I've got the water, energy bars, and camera. I think we're set for the hike.
Almost. We need to protect our skin. Don't forget your wide-brimmed hat and sunscreen.
All right. I've got the hat. I've got SPF 30. Will that work?
Yeah, anything 15 or higher is good. Just make sure it says broad spectrum.
Great. Got it. I am not getting burned again. Let's go.
Learn more at cdc.gov/cancer.
Sex Code War by Kahari Inaharo, the author of the Essence magazine bestseller Race Code War, is releasing his second book, Sex Code War. Be on the lookout for Sex Code War.
TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. Download TalkTainmentRadio.com app to your cell or tablet. That's radio, the way it should be heard. And this is Stacey Wiggins on Wiggins World of Wellness. And we're just finishing up on some of the ideas of the first half hour about what it feels like to be healthy. And some of the things, some of the tricks, tools, techniques that I go about using in my life, utilizing in my life to obtain and maintain, just as important, a healthy lifestyle. Now, I have, wow, where do we go with this? I have, for over 15 years, created and used a class. I created this class and operated this class for over 15 years, a couple times, or for a while in 2 different locations. And we call it the ball class. And what I have, in a sense, created was all of these exercises, all of the stretches, all of the trigger points that I have people work on are directly related to the work that I've seen, the tensions and tightnesses that I've seen over 31 years of my clients. So this first picture right here is one of my clients, and she's sitting on a small medicine ball. Now, you may have seen people use the foam roller, and the foam roller gets a lot of advertisement, but it turns out that the small medicine ball is way more adaptable. One, you can inflate or deflate it, whereas the foam roller, it's just got one hard pressure. And 2, more importantly, you can utilize the ball in a much more broader way than what the foam roller, which is somewhat of a one-directional way. Now let's see here. What other pictures do we have coming up? This is to demonstrate that you can do your own trigger point therapy, and it's very easy to do. Now, I've also talked about exercising. No, actually, it's a new topic. Let me introduce a new topic to you. Exercising for the broken body. Okay? Ooh, what does that sound like? Well, most all of us, are trying to go to the gym, trying to work out, but we are exercising with a broken body. And what I mean by that is the body is out of balance, the body is riddled with tension, tightness, and a high degree of inflexibility. Now, this picture right here is a beautiful picture of increasing flexibility, because most of us, when we sit at our desk, when we're driving our cars, when we, what I call, maintain a positional stress, a postural stress position, we tighten up. We tighten up our chest muscles, we tighten up our shoulder muscles, and even our arms begin to tighten up. And this stretch alone really addresses your ability to open up your chest, your ability to breathe in deeper, and to get those pecs and get those deltoids in the front of our body to open up. Because let's face it, we rarely stretch behind ourselves. We're always leaning forward. Now, this is a very complicated stretch because it involves, one, a lot of balance. You're using the ball underneath your hands to pretty much balance your body, outreaching. The outreach stretch is giving you a huge shoulder, chest stretch. You're breathing in deep, and with the leg that's on the ball and back, that leg, the leg on the ball, is getting a hip flexor stretch. Now the leg that's on the floor, her left leg, is getting a huge, big time hamstring and rear hip stretch. So once again, you're creating more flexibility in the body. You're creating more open space for the body to work in. Because, all right, this picture is like super tough. It's showing you that you can obtain and get strength from the backside of your body. Because all we do when we go to the gym, we like to work out what we look at, and that's about it. Guys work the front. Women know that guys look at women's rear end, so the women work at the rear end. You know, everyone's out of balance with their job or with their workout. And so this demonstrates right here rear shoulder strength, rear back strength, lower hamstrings, calf strength. It is quite a neurological feat to do this because you have to balance in each hand. You have to balance in your feet. And you want to talk about learning new things. This is where neuroplasticity, that term, comes in. It's your brain learning how to do new things. Not just a crossword puzzle or the haiku or this or that. You are engaging your brain with your body, creating new movements that you never have done before. And it's fascinating to see people try this. When they do it the first time, and actually we break it down, and you just start on the floor before you even start on the ball or on the Bosu. So you start to train your muscles, because muscles that fire together wire together. Now, what does that mean? In other words, if you went to another country and did not know how to use the language, you would quickly have to learn how to use the language. And so you start to learn the basics. Thank you, please, where's the bathroom, food, yes and no. So actually, while you're learning these new basics, this new language, that is putting down new memory. You're stimulating your nervous system, your brain, in a different way. That's called neuroplasticity. Well, that exercise is hidden. It's just overflowing with neuroplasticity. And it's to keep us out of our chronically held tight position. Because oftentimes, once again, I'm going to pick on the gym. I'm going to beat up on the gym. When we go working with weights, when we go working with machines, it does not challenge us outside of our regular movement. It does not make our nervous system learn how to do, oh, this is new, this is different. Let's figure this out. So let's see here. What other pictures do we have coming up? Because what we're doing here is showing people that the stretch is in the workout. I know. It's like, huh? It should have always been that way. But listen to me. The stretch is in the workout. So what I mean by this is when people ask, Stacy, who works on you? Well, it's my workout giving me benefit. Because as I'm working out, I'm stretching my shoulder joint, my hip joint. I'm decompressing my spine. What does that look like? What do you mean decompressing? Well, if you lay on the ball, on the big ball, and you just let your body hang over and you start to breathe in deeply, that is an actual decompression of your rib cage. Now, some people ask me, Stacy, should I go out and buy one of those inversion tables? Now, if you know what that looks like, it's one of those tables where you lock your feet in, and you lay back, and your feet go up as your head goes down. So you're on this table that has a articulating, pretty much right around your waist, articulating joint, so you can get all the way back and decompress your spine. Now this is fine, but it's really limited compared to the things that I do on the ball, which would be laying face down. That's to get your lumbar. Then you can lay on the side of your body. Once you begin to lay on the side of your body, you are then opening up your rib cage. And do you know that most everyone's rib cage is super, super tight? You're actually supposed to have rib space in between your ribs, and most people have one rib on top of the other. So when it is time that they breathe in deeply, it's minimal. They are restricted due to the tension, the tightness, the chronically held posture that we mostly maintain throughout the day, which is once again leaning forward, crushing our ribs together, and not moving our internal organs. All right, let's see, what other pictures do we have coming up here? Yeah, there's a picture of that inversion table. And how much does that cost compared to a ball? Whew, inversion tables are like $150, no less than $100. And a stability ball, well, that only costs $20, $30. If you pay more than $35, then you're paying too much. So once again, I have created a system whereby the stretch is in the workout. If your hands are tight and you go about grabbing weights, if you do barbells, or if you do the what is that whole bar? The full, arm press bar. You're always making a grasping, a hand clutching movement, not a hand stretching movement. Now, oftentimes when I'm on BOSUs and when I do a push-up and my hand is on a BOSU and even a big ball, I'm getting the biggest stretch possible. There is no bigger stretch than pushing your hands into a BOSU and then loading your weight up on it and feeling that feedback. I don't know. Do we have a picture on that or not? Let's see here. Okay. Another part that I don't know if the videos will come up on this or not, but the BOSU is one of my most favorite tools because of the diversity of it. It just lends to so many things that you're able to do and you're capable of doing. And one of those things is increased balance, increase in foot agility. People who play soccer, who are ice skaters, roller skaters, people who do a lot of lower body workout, runners, they love this BOSU. And what we're able to do is if we put them in a long line or if we put them in a circle, we're able to walk on them, to jump on them, to do all sorts of different foot applications. So our foot now is getting a different demand because, your whole life you've been on a flat surface. And if the surface wasn't flat, you pretty much argued about it or made comment about it. And to be able to use your feet in such a manner that you are no longer on a flat surface really allows for many, many things to develop. And that is lower ankle articulation. So your feet, your arches, your calf muscles become much more supple. They become much more active because they aren't always on a flat surface. And it makes all the difference in the world. Let's see here. We're having some, I maybe didn't get all the pictures that I wanted to have go through to show you guys some of the other exercises, so you'll have to just work with my explanation for now. Now, taking a push-up, that's a perfect exercise. Everybody knows that push-ups are beneficial. Actually, the latest studies have found that doing a lot of push-ups helps you to have a healthier heart, helps your cardiovascular, but most importantly, it helps to stave away heart attacks. Isn't that crazy? It's worth doing some push-ups right now. But push-ups on a flat surface afford very little benefit. Yes, you're working muscles, but you're not anywhere clearly, nowhere close to the ability that your body must be challenged or must go through when you do a push-up on 2 BOSUs. So one hand is on one BOSU, one hand is on the other, and as you lower your body, you're actually stretching your chest, stretching your arms, because you're going past the point of where you would have gone on the floor. And as you're pushing up into the BOSU, your hands, once again, are getting really, really stretched. Your fingers are being pushed back, which increases the strength. It increases the endurance. It increases your ability to recover from injuries much, much quicker. Oh, also, it strengthens your wrist joint. Pretty much everyone I run across, their wrist joint has a couple bones that are out, or they feel that they don't have the full grip and their full strength. And that's because you have 8 different small bones in your wrist. I used to know them all: hamate, pisiform. Oh my goodness. And then the names get crazy. So anyway, the name of your bones in the wrist, I can't recall all of them, but if one of the 8 bones is slightly out of place, that will biomechanically affect the performance of your hand. So if 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 of those small bones are biomechanically out of place, then yes, you have problems. You have wrist weaknesses, or maybe you can't hold on to a cup of coffee, or you have now nerves that people call carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal, that's the bone. Tunnel is where the nerve goes through. The syndrome is the fact that it's being compressed. It's being tied up. The actual nerve is being irritated to the point where you've lost function. It hurts all the time. Well, I know I can't talk about people being totally healed from this thing or that, but let's just say this. When you stretch out your hand, the carpal bones, they somehow find the right place to be in. The tension and tightness, the extreme chronic tightness that the forearm and wrist used to be in, somehow they find a more supple way of being, a more supple way of operating. The actual muscle tissue becomes supple, the actual joint area becomes released, and thus blood flow is what occurs. Blood flow, let me talk something about blood flow. Kind of got me burned up. Many years ago, I had the opportunity to work as a massage therapist at a local hospital. Now, this particular wing of the hospital was really advanced, or really trying to keep up with the new ideas of massage therapy and the alternative health care. So I was very excited to be there because, I wanted to represent. I was teaching massage therapy at the same time at the local school. What was that? COSM, Central Ohio School of Massage. And so I felt that I would be a great ambassador for this hospital and massage therapy. So I was excited, and, we kind of went through a week or two. I had 1 or 2 clients, and then the organizer there, the lady there, said, hey, we're going to have channel 3, channel 4, channel 10, I don't know. Some local TV station was going to come in and interview this new idea that massage therapy is in one of the local hospitals. And she said, and here's what we want you to say. I'm like, what? And then I said, well, we teach students, and the very first thing that I learned as a massage therapist is that massage increases blood flow. So can I say that? She said, oh, no, you can't say that. And I'm like, what? My jaw dropped, and I'm thinking, okay, one of the most basic things, it's scientifically proven, it's the easiest thing to demonstrate, that massage therapy increases blood flow. And she is telling me, no, I can't say that. Well, needless to say, I didn't work there much after that. Either I quit or I got fired, or, we just parted our ways. Because to be able to talk about something so basic, so fundamental as in increased blood flow helps the body. It helps healing. Because here's the whole deal. Now that I look back on it. When the blood is not flowing, the disease state occurs. When the blood is reduced, hey, let's get down to the business. We have a new disease called ED, or erectile dysfunction. What it really is a lack of flow. Little go. If you got good flow, well, you're going to have a good go. Same thing with your eyes. Your eyes have very, very small blood vessels. And as we get older, as we get more toxic, as we get more OTC, old, toxic, and cruddy, our vision starts to shut down. It's not us getting old, it's us getting polluted. It really is. And if you call it getting old, well, you're just misidentifying it. You're just putting the blame on something else, and you're not taking responsibility for your own actions or inactions. So blood flow. Blood flow is everything. And here's what I talked about maybe 2 or 3 times ago, that when pain occurs, a level of oxygen is lowered. When pain is gone, the levels of oxygen are raised. Now, this occurs every time for my 31 to 2 years as a massage therapist. Whenever I was able to relax a muscle, increase the blood flow, the patient, the person that was on the table, their pain either went away or was greatly reduced. Now, sometimes I've had to work on a muscle real hard and it felt beat up, but that's quite a different feeling from the acute tightness and pain, the ongoing nagging pain that usually occurs. So I'm thinking, okay, every time I go about releasing the tension, releasing the held muscular chronic tension and the debris that's in there, which would be, some people consider arthritic tissue or arthritic stuff. Every time I do this, the person feels better. So in my mind is, increase blood flow, increase the level of health to that particular area. And it is that simple. Decrease blood flow is then the state of disease. Now let me take it to another level. If you've ever invested in the pH water, the alkaline water, and if you ever heard the story about the alkalinity story, it really was rooted in a doctor's research, a doctor's finding, who got a Nobel Peace Prize back in 1938, 36, 38, I believe, way back then, Dr. Paul Otto Warburg. He, by science, by laboratory, discovered that when the pH of a system, of the cells of a human, when the pH is high, cancer really cannot exist in that level. But when the pH is low, which also means a low oxygenation, because high pH is synonymous to high levels of oxygen, alkalinity. Low pH, which is acid, is synonymous to low oxygen levels. More acid, less oxygen, more carbolic and more carbon dioxide and other toxins. I have, for my own life, realized that every time my pH lowers, I get stiff. If I stay in a lowered state, I may start to get a pain or some kind of ongoing pain. But as I raise my pH up, the muscle tissue softens, the oxygen level heightens, my energy level goes up, simply because of this well-known fact that Dr. Paul Otto Warburg in 1938 stated that an alkaline system knows no disease. Now, that has not been disputed. It's been buried. It's been, well, he also said this. What he also said was that you need to have very good oils. What was that? The omega-3s, because that helps certainly in the quality of cell membranes. But basically, and bottom line, a high pH is going to ensure you of a higher oxygenation. Can you get too much pH? Yes, but you really have to work real hard at that. Okay, so basically I'm here to tell you that the exercises that I perform and I teach people are stretching the ligaments, stretching the muscles, and while you're doing this, you're also deep breathing. So what's occurring? You're getting more oxygen into the system. You're getting more blood flow into these chronically held tight areas. I like to call it, what was the word? I coined a new term, functionally stiff people. Okay? Functionally stiff people. What I mean by that is people go and work out because oh, it feels so much better now that I moved my bones around and got some circulation. And that's exactly what they did. They increased their blood flow, increased their circulation to some of those tight areas. They got some temporary relief. They got some benefits, but then they went back and sat down, or they went back to their monotonous job that didn't demand their body to move. And so their lymphatic system becomes more sluggish. Their muscles begin to tighten up. Your hip flexors begin to tighten up because you're spending hours and hours at a day at a seat. Okay? So this exercise, I go to the gym once, twice, 3 times a week or whatever. It is just helping you maintain that particular lifestyle. Now, here's a great example. One of my clients, she trains for marathons, ran the Boston Marathon, and said, I'm going to take a month off after the Boston. And she did. And she asked me a question, Stacy, I took a whole month off, and why are my feet still tight? Why is my leg still hurting? And I said, because you are operating under functional tension. When you were running, you were better off because you were moving, you were creating more blood flow through these areas of stiffness, of tightness, chronically held tension, than to just not exercise at all. So the not exercising, which she thought would bring her more health, actually brought her a little more damage, or I should say, it did not help her increase in her healing. So we find ourselves working out a little bit, but man, it hurts too much, and I can't work out, and when I do work out, it kind of hurts me more. So we're stuck in this real tough conundrum. I know I have to work out, but it kills me to work out. Well, in my program, once again, if you begin stretching, and by the way, stretching is a workout, you actually go about addressing some of these areas that are super tight and are preventing you from being able to walk or preventing you from being able to lift weights. And once those areas begin to have increased blood flow, more flexibility, then you can actually challenge your body in such a way that it grows from that insult instead of is damaged from that insult. Because that's all we do. We're healing machines. We are healing machines all the time. But the challenge is, have we set up everything in our life, in our lifestyle for healing? Or have we gone about doing it the other way? Are we overly stressed? Are we overly toxic? Are we underfed? Do we have low nutrition or no nutrition? And then the environment, the current environment we're in is not really one of the best environments that we maybe have had in our world, but hey, we got to deal with it. So there's many, many ways to go about detoxing, to go about alleviating these stresses off of your mind, off of your body, in order to go about creating great health. So I just brought to you a couple ideas of what it is involved, because let me tell you, if you're doing the same thing with the same thinking, you're going to get the same results, which are pretty bad. So I invite you to expand your mind, to open up your mind, to look in some of the exercises that I have. And next time, I'll bring in better pictures, more pictures, so we can actually dig in deeper to what it really means to stretch while you exercise. Because, hey, I much rather do 2 things at once than just 1 thing at once and get minimal benefits. And by adding this stretching technique, the way that I work out, to your exercise, not only do you increase your physical ability, your physical flexibility, but you increase your capability of your mind to grow, to expand, to be more creative, because your body is showing you that it's doing things that you thought once were impossible. Your body is now getting stretched out, getting more oxygen, and now your brain is like, oh, well, let me catch up here. I thought I couldn't do this, but apparently I can. So we have a broken body syndrome, but we also have a broken mind syndrome. We need to heal our mind and heal our body at the same time. And the program that I offer does both. It's a fantastic thing to see, and especially it's a fantastic thing to see among children. Well, I've enjoyed this hour here with you. I hope that maybe you have gleaned a few ideas for how you can raise your level of health, for how you can have optimal health and wellness. Here on TalkTainmentRadio.com, the world's greatest radio. Radio the way it should be heard.
the power, the world's greatest radio, talktainmentradio.com.